Let me go catch it. All right, you ready? All right, Coach, start us off.
Yeah, that was just a fantastic win. The second time in as many games. We get down double digits in the second half. So proud of our players. They hung tough. We talked about it the other night, just down 11. And we talked about, guys, we're down 11, we're down 14. Plenty of time, plenty of possessions when you play Auburn. Thought we got great play off the bench. Obviously, Romello and Devontae was just fantastic. Devontae had a great clean look, and in regulation, he was upset. We said, Devontae, you're going to get the last one. You're going to get another one, I promise you. And it was just fitting that it went in. And so good job by the staff, and really good week for the Rebels.
Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, Kermit, you mentioned that y'all fell behind by 14 points. I think Auburn had made 8 of their first 14 shots in the second half. What changed defensively?
Ben, we weren't very successful in our zone tonight. I mean, Cooper's as good as advertised with the ball. You don't really realize it. You watch it on tape until you see it. And he just sees everything. And so he kind of picked us apart really in the zones. We had to go back to man. And, maybe a couple of timely switches. I just thought it was a great effort. Offense didn't affect defense. We just kept getting that ball inside of Romello. He made some great plays. Avante was spectacular. We gave up 84, so we gave up more points. It was just good to see our team be able to win a game in the 80s.
Tyler, go ahead.
Kermit, obviously Sharif Cooper didn't play in that first matchup, but what were the biggest differences that you noticed between your team in these two games that you've matched up against Auburn?
Well, there's nobody better in college basketball with the ball in his hands and pick and roll. Nobody. He had 14 assists. He just makes everybody better. And, he just, whether he Euro throws, sees a long roll, he struggled a little bit. He made a couple. And then when he makes a couple shots like he did early, it's just he's almost unguardable. Second half, he got to where he didn't make as many, and you can kind of play position defense. But that was really the difference. It's just him. Auburn's got a really good team. I thought they came out really, really tough and hard tonight. I knew that's what would happen after the Georgia game. And our guys just played now. That was a really good team we beat tonight on their home floor.
Parrish, go ahead.
Kermit, did you think Cooper's second half was really about him just missing shots, or did you really like the defense you guys played against him? What did you guys do to kind of facilitate that?
Yeah, Parrish, I thought we turned him over a little bit and, off some steals and got some baskets, and that was good. And, you just got to gap him. You got to gap him. He's got to shoot over you. And Parrish, if he makes kind of those threes from 22 feet, I think you got to live with it. That's just kind of what you have to do. And I think the first half he made 1 or 2. Second half didn't have as much success. We kept him out of the paint. I thought Romello White was unbelievable in rim protection for about a 5-minute period. He blocked shots. He challenged everything at the rim. And so when you get a guy like that, he really covered up a lot of our defensive mistakes in the perimeter.
Did you tell your guys to expect a game in the 80s?
No, I didn't. I didn't, Bears. I wasn't looking forward to the games in the 80s, but it sure is nice to win one like that. And but we knew against teams like Auburn, you're going to have to score. You can't shut those guys out, especially with Cooper in there. And I thought those guys played downhill. And when you have one guy get 30, another guy get 26, then you can play in the 80s.
Adam, go ahead.
Coach, you kind of mentioned this with Romello, but just Romello's production tonight in the game.
Yeah, you talk about Adam. He has 30 and 10 and 4 blocks. That's about as good of numbers as any guy's had in our league as a big. And then he willed his team to win, and so that was just terrific. That's the best he's played, but he's been coming on. We've been doing a better job getting it to him. He's been having better practices, figure out more ways to score in our offense. So give him credit and our players credit for finding him in opportune times.
Neil, go ahead.
Hey, Kermit, I was kind of following up on that with Romello. Was the plan tonight to offense through him throughout the game, or did it sort of develop when you saw how dominant he was in the post?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about to our team, after the Georgia game, just that our inside guys weren't getting enough touches. We have to play through them. And, we talked about Romello has to do a good job of executing, and we have to find him. And I just thought the last couple games, especially this week, he did a great job of finding spots in the offense. I even thought the shots that he missed were great shots, pick and pop shots. And we put in 2 or 3 other new things to try to isolate him in the post. And, so yeah, we really do. We need to play through him. And he's a good passer, so he can pass it out of the double teams if they choose to do it. They chose not to do that tonight.
I remember him talking in the preseason about his face-up game and that being something he really wanted to start to show and that kind of thing. He hasn't done that consistently this season. Was tonight a little bit of what you've seen from him and maybe a confidence kind of a thing?
Yeah, it was. And we just tell him to shoot it every time. I mean, his screening angles weren't great early. And, you get pick and pop shots by screening angles. And now his angles are a lot better. The wide open 3, he shot's fine. He made some great ones right around 15 feet at the high post, which I thought was good. Some against zone, some against man. So, yeah, because the lane's just going to shrink with double teams. He's got to stay physical. But, yeah, he's got to become just an elite screener. And if he does that, he's going to get some of those pick and pop opportunities.
Chris, go ahead.
Kermit, do you feel like your team's, experience kind of showed, throughout that second half and even that OT period, with Auburn making that shot, but y'all still having the composure, come down and hit the game winner?
Yeah, Devontae and I talked about it a bunch, and I kind of got into Devontae, coached him pretty hard at halftime. And that's just what senior elite guards do. They find ways to close these kind of games out. That's all I've talked to Devontae about, for the last month. And he did it. He closed it out. Obviously closed it out by making the game winner, but other tough plays. You got Romello White. He's a 5th-year senior, been in big games, so you got 2 veteran guys that really just made some terrific physical plays down the stretch.
Ben, go ahead.
Kermit, you've touched on this already, but your team had been 1-9 when allowing opponents to score 60 points, 0 for 7 when giving up 70 or more. To win a game like this, what can it mean moving forward?
Yeah, it just does. It's just college basketball, and good teams win in all different areas. You know that, Ben, and whether you can beat a number 10 ranked team 52-50 or score in the 80s in an overtime game, that's when your team starts maturing. And you do. You'd like to play the same way every time, but you play different styles. Auburn is an up and down team. Did we guard at times like we should have? We didn't, but we found other ways to win, which was great to see.
Any other questions for Coach?
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Romello White and Devontae Schuler.